Let's see that money. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we are live once again on a Friday evening. And we're going to be talking about a subject that I much love to talk about, and that is the salary cap, because there's a lot of things going on behind it. Kind of gives you a feel of being a general manager and some of the things that they have to deal with as far as the money side of the ball with these players. What can we do with it? Where do we stand with this team? This is going to be a multi-part series, just like we did last year. This is actually our third year covering the salary cap review. Once we do the salary cap this time, then we'll go over some holes I think we need to fill in the next episode, and then some potential free agents that could do that with the salary cap that I feel that we would have left over. I want to say hello to all of you out here right now. And once we get to the question and answer segment, you can go ahead and go to that pinned comment, click that link. You'll see the pinned comment in the live chat. Also, we have a live chat poll regarding the quarterback situation. The first year in a long time that the Raiders are going to actually have to look for a legitimate starting quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen? I put a poll out there, so be sure to hit that poll up, and also hit a like if you're enjoying this, and subscribe, especially if you're watching this on a replay. A lot of people watch this on replay. Come here, subscribe, hit the bell notification, set it to all. That way you'll be notified. You'll be here live with us. So you can interact with us not only in the poll, but also in the live chat that we're going to be having in our question and answer segment. So let's get right to this. Without further ado, I want to say hello to you guys out there right now. Let's see what we got. We got a few people already out here in chat. I want to say hello to you. Let's see. Already coming on in. So let's get right to this. If you are new to the program, this is how we do it. Of course, we have the rundown, and I put the ticker at the bottom. Of course, these are the subjects we're going to be talking about tonight. And of course, as we normally do, we have a question and answer segment where you can get involved. You can answer your questions either in the live chat here or go on the restream. Get inside here, chat with me personally. You don't have to be on camera, but you can if you want, and sound off. So with that said, let's get to the first subject as we always do, and that's you guys, our champions.
I hear everyone say it, take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
Now, I've talked about this a little bit. Now, I am only broadcasting only on YouTube right now. I talked about this before as far as TikTok. Not getting a whole lot of views as far as these weekly shows. They're better on the live streams during games. We'll probably go back to that once we get to that. But you can see the champion count has jumped up since last week. We got 8. I did some things I talked about regarding this channel. I thought I might need to do to allow the algorithm and that to actually generate and show up more. And it actually did. Not only the sub count, the likes went up, the views went up, the hours went up, everything kind of took a jump up. So right now I'm going to be taking a wait and see approach to that. And I do appreciate that. Everyone who has joined up with the channel and hopefully watching this live, if not catching the replay. I thank you very much for you coming and subscribing to the channel. Now, as we normally do, we have our poll of the week. We do this just about every week. And of course, this one's going to be related to the salary cap. And I asked, what positions should the Raiders make their main focus regarding the salary cap money? Most of you said the quarterback position. It was close with the interior defensive line, defensive tackle. A lot of you were talking about getting rid of Josh McDaniels. I hear you on that. This is more about the salary cap issue, number one. Number two, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with him for at least one more year. And if we do draft a rookie quarterback, probably another year after that. So I hear your sentiment on that, but I will get to the position I feel we need to focus on as far as the salary cap money goes once we get to our salary cap review. And why don't we just start doing that without further ado? All right, let's get to the salary cap review. Let me pull it up like we've done before, guys. We did this before. How you guys doing out there tonight? What I do is I set up my spreadsheet. I did this last year as well. And I changed it up a little bit, but the concept's the same. So I'm going to break this down for you guys while we talk about this. Then I'm going to go over who I feel we should be cutting or putting on the practice squad. And then I also added notable team free agents. Now, these are guys obviously who were with us last season that will be free agents. Should we go after them? Should we not? And how it affects the salary cap. So I'm going to just talk about this. And then the spending breakdown, you can see currently this is our snapshot right now, offensively speaking, defensively speaking, on the cap for 2023. And then the specialists, that is the kicker, the punter, and the long snapper. Okay. And then it's broken down by position here. And I also added the number of players that we have by position here. Okay. So right now we have 2 quarterbacks on the active roster signed as we speak. Of course, Derek Carr is one of those. We'll get to that as well. Of course, he will not be with us. We'll get to that. So this is the contract breakdown. So we currently have 46 players on active contract right now, 1 through 46 down here. And this is the cap value currently if we keep them. If we actually cut them or put them on the practice squad, this would be the hit that we would not be able to get the full gain from. And then this is the net gain. So you can see right here as you go down, and I just put the positions here so you can see that. So what I want to do first, of course, I want to take this as a GM, of course. So actually we're a little under 20 million as of right now. Of course, we need a full 53-man roster at 46. So I would say you're going to have about 12 to 15 that are going to be minimum level players, like vet level. I think that's about $750,000 to $1 million around there. So you can add another $7 million off the cap. But I want to see what we can do as far as clearing the cap. So first thing I want to do is go to this game. And of course, if we cut Derek Carr before February 15th, we'll only get a $5.5 or $5.6 million cap hit here. So these are, of course, in millions here. So we would have a net gain of 29.3 versus where we're on the hook for him for this year is 35 million. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put this one right now in X, of course, because everybody knows he's going to be gone. If we trade him, I'm not sure how much we're going to incur of that cap, probably some of it. The details will come out, but I'm just going with a snapshot. I think we're going to be cutting him anyway. So let's go with that. Let's see. And then some of the other ones, Andre James, this one kind of bumped up. I'm getting this data from spottrack.com, of course. So this one kind of went up today from like 5.4 million to 7 million. I don't know if something triggered as far as incentives or what, but he is scheduled to make 7 million this year. If we cut him, we'll get 5 million off the cap, only incur about a $2 million hit. I'm going to do that. I don't think Andre James is worth $7 million as a center, to be honest with you. I would rather have Dylan Parham there at center. I think he's a little undersized. He had some difficulties at guard, especially with the vision, getting the stunts. I think that he might be better suited there, and I think that's where we actually drafted him. Again, I think Andre James probably outplayed him this year, but he's not worth $7 million in my book. Of course, we're just going stay or go right now. Of course, you can always renegotiate contracts. That happens all the time. Getting around salary cap. Like I've said before, they have whole departments of lawyers to do this. I just wanted to try to simplify it as much as I could to see where we stand. So if he wouldn't take a cut in pay, I would release him forthwith. Bilal Nichols. So these are the ones where we'd get the most advantage. So Bilal Nichols, you heard what I had to say about him. Awful this year. Not worth the money. Now he's going to make a little under $7 million. No way. I would rather hit that in the draft and free agency. What does Neil Farrell Jr. have for us? Al's Ghost, I see you in here. Salute to you. Salute to you as well, brother. How you doing? We're going over the salary cap tonight. And like I said, I've done this as the third season. I bring out my spreadsheet. I put the numbers in. So right now, if you look at this, if we cut these 3 players, net cap space, about $56 million. Darren Waller, there's rumors that he's going to be traded. I think that's actually going to happen. I'm going to take the full cap gain from that. It's about $3 million. Who knows how it's going to shake out, but for the purposes of this, we'll do that. I don't think he's going to be with the Raiders next year. I think a lot of things were going on behind the scenes. He's probably not too happy about Derek Carr's situation as well. I've heard Hunter Renfrow. I don't think he's going to be going. That would be a bit of a surprise for me. Plus, we wouldn't get a whole lot from him from the salary cap. Then we have Brandon Bolden, who's a Patriot guy. Pretty good at blocking, to be honest with you. $2.9 million. I don't see a problem with that at running back. Carlson, of course, he's got his deal. Cole, those are studs. Renfro. And we're just going to go down the list so you can see how much we gain. I think the only other one on the active list right now that I'm going to take and cut right now is Chase Garbers. He's worth about $1 million. I think we'll roll with 2 quarterbacks, and this is what I'm going to say. As we get over here to our notable team free agents, of course, you see Jared Stidham here. He was riding for about $1 million. $750,000 to $1 million the last 3 years. I gave him a bump up to $1.5 million. Of course, these are estimated costs. Of course, everything would be negotiated. So I'm going to sign him. I'm going to keep him around as my backup, and I'm going to go to the draft. I don't know if I draft a quarterback in the 7th. I'd like to probably move up or move down. Maybe get Anthony Richardson. I know a lot of people say, oh, he's Lamar. Kind of. I think he throws the ball way better than Lamar. I think the better comparison is a smaller version of Cam Newton. That said, we'll see where he shakes out and you've seen it every year from about this time to April where the draft is. A lot of people rise up and a lot of people fall. If he rises up, unless this regime really likes him, I don't see us moving up for him. That'd be another option. But he could fall down, and I like the option where if he falls down, move up from the 2nd round, get into that late 1st round, grab him, get that 5th-year option. I think that makes total sense. Plus, you got Jared Stidham, who knows the system, as a backup to help groom him. Let's see. M85 says, let me pull this up a little bit. There we go. M85, how you doing tonight? He says, Renfrow and Waller's contract is a hard pill to swallow after this year. If they can get right, they'll be valuable for the new quarterback. Renfrow has been hurt. I would like to actually, and I've said this for about 2 or 3 years now, we need some dedicated punt returners. I know we had DJ Turner. He's on the list here, right down here. Let me unselect you here. Right down here at the bottom. Turner the burner, he got hurt, unfortunately, but with that contract to Hunter Renfrow, I cannot see him ever returning punts again. If I was the general manager, that would not happen. I will pick up somebody, a speed guy for league minimum or whatever to return punts rather than have a guy out there scheduled right now to make $13 million to get hurt to do that. He's one of the best slot receivers. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Darren Waller, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's always been this thing where he's been getting hurt, where things have gone wrong. And then like the end of 2021, oh, he's all better now that we're in the playoffs. It's kind of iffy. I know he played out the season this year. I think he's a little overpaid, to be honest with you. Your best ability is availability. You know how I feel about Foster Moreau. We'll get to that with the free agents right here. Let's see. I didn't want him returning punts this season. Absolutely. That's another one of those head scratchers, but I want to get into the team free agents right now. So I'm going to roll with 2 quarterbacks. If it's me, I'm going to get Jared Stidham as my backup and then draft a quarterback in this draft and groom him. I think that's probably the way we're going to go. Unless we go and get Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Tom Brady makes 0 sense for us here. He's too old. He's too immobile. This offensive line is terrible. It's below average is kind. I mean, even Colton Miller had it down here. Let's be honest. There are some games where he got destroyed in games. So, and he's our best guy. So, I would not. I want somebody more mobile. I'm thinking Richardson. We'll go over the draft. I'll do a separate video or a separate live stream on quarterbacks in the draft. I've already got some in mind as far as my rankings go. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the combine. We'll do that as well, like we always do. But I want to get to who would I want to retain that is a free agent this year. And also, one other thing, where they're highlighted in this dark red, that means that they're in their final year. So if you want to keep them around, if they're worth keeping around instead of a year-to-year thing, we're going to have to extend them in some way. So let's just go down the list. Alex Bars, you know how I feel about him. Garbage. Nope. Brandon Parker is absolutely not. Denzel Perryman. Now, he had a very good year 2 years ago. Last year, pretty good until he got hurt. Not quite as good as he was in 2021, let's be honest. I'm trying to figure out where he would land now. If he wants to be in the top 5 for inside linebackers, that's about $12 million. I put it at about 8.5. I took a discount because he's off injured. I think he's nearing 30 years old anyway. So I would offer him 8.5 in some kind of extension. He's a stud. I mean, this guy can stop the run the interior run game. If we can keep this guy, we will. I don't think we will, but if I'm going to be the GM here, I'm keeping him. So that takes it off of here. So you can see the numbers moving as we go. Deron Harmon, he's okay. You can take him or leave him at 2 million, maybe 2.5. I think that's probably fair for him. Let's see. I'll leave him off. Cleve Farrell, no, not at 7.5. That's the valuation some of these websites are giving. It kind of flexes for a backup edge rusher. Plus, I wanted to show this. I mean, this is where we have all our money, right? Crosby and Chandler Jones. We got 41 million at the defensive end / edge position. And I kept saying that. That's what's probably going to keep us, unless we can renegotiate. We can look. Let's take a look. I'll show you Chandler Jones here. Let me sort it here. I want to show you Chandler Jones's contract here for this year. We'd take a $25 million hit by cutting him alone. I don't see any suitors for him as far as trade. If we do, we're going to have to eat a big part of that, if not all of that 19.3 million he's due. We got him for this year and one more year, 2024. A really terrible contract if you take a look at it. And again, that's going to impede us. I keep saying this. Khalil Mack is supposed to get 23 million from the Chargers this year. I don't think that's going to happen. Unless he renegotiates, he's going to be a free agent. He's not technically one yet. He is technically still under contract. I think he will be cut once the season starts, March 15th or around that time. And that would have been really nice to maybe even welcome him back. But I don't think he's worth 23 million. I don't think he's going to get it in the open market. And I don't think the Chargers are going to pay him. But Chandler Jones has been a huge disappointment. He had that lucky fumble, lateral interception. Other than that, did not impress too well. I think he had like one decent game where he had like a sack and a half or 2 sacks. Not for this production, but we're stuck with the contract. This is why I like to look at these things. So the edge rushing position is going to be tough. Malcolm Kuntz is still there. If you want to look at who we have, let's take a look at that right now. Let's take a look at who we actually have under contract. So we have 3. We have Kuntz, of course, the Yannick Ngakoue. To me, he's comparable to that. I'm not saying talent wise. I'm talking about the size, the type of game he has. He really needs to step up. Not only for him and getting a new contract, he's still under that rookie contract, but also for the Raiders, obviously. So we'll probably get somebody else, low money. We've already spent too much money here, and we can't really get out of it. Of course, we're not going to move Max Crosby. That would be absolutely insane. So let's see. If you can cover the run and pass, you're hired, says NBA85. Well, Denzel has a little bit of trouble with the pass coverage. I've said this before. I think his best fit would be a 3-4 inside linebacker, where most of his responsibilities are just on short passes or covering the run or spying on the quarterback. I think he does a great job doing that. Otherwise, not so much. I'd rather pay Deron Payne $20 million. I'd rather not. I think we're going to need. I think I'd rather go out and get some defensive tackle help, to be honest with you, at that point. But let's go down the list some more. Foster Moreau. Nope. You know how I feel about him. Jackson Barton. And again, these are estimated costs. It's about how much he makes. He's basically a backup. He's a swing tackle. I said this before. I would sign him. I think he's our best bet if Colton Miller goes down the left side. And at $1 million, to me, that's a good price for a backup left tackle that can play okay. I'm not going to say he's great, but he's not Brandon Parker. He's not crap, but he's okay. And at $1 million, I think that is. Now, Jakob Johnson, I think he will be re-signed, of course. He's one of McDaniel's buddies. I wouldn't do it. I mean, he blocks well, but at this point, we need some. I would rather just have Brandon Bolden in there, and we're going to have to find another number one running back. We're going to get to that in a minute because you see Josh Jacobs down here, obviously. Jermaine Illuminor. I'm going to say yes for this money, $4 million. Was kind of a little up and down. They tried him on the left side a little bit, no good. The right side is decent. Unless we go out and get a big name guy, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think $4 million would be fair for him. Jerry Tillery here, we picked him up off the scrap heap. Some people think he's going to get $7 million. I don't see how. What has he actually shown? I put him at $3 million, and if so, I would take a chance on Jerry Tillery for $3 million. Showing a little bit of promise this year, interior defensive line. Jalen Brown is another guy you could go after. He's been hurt. Josh Jacobs. Now I put this at $16.5 million. I put FT, that's franchise tag. I don't think we're going to re-sign the guy conventionally. I don't think he's going to want to stay here. If we keep him, it's going to be under a 1-year franchise tag. And that means we have to pay him the average of the top 5 in the position of running back. And that's about $16.5 million right now where the cap stands. And personally, I'm going to pass on that. I think they swung and missed with Zamir White. I think they should have gotten Damian Pierce in the 3rd round, and we wouldn't be having this issue right now because Damian Pierce would have been a hell of a 1-2 punch with Josh Jacobs. So what if we didn't get Dylan Parham? I know people, he's good. He was shaky. He was shaky, and there's times where he didn't see the stunts, and he left the quarterback out to dry on numerous occasions. Definitely, I would have rather had Damian Pierce in the 3rd there, and I wanted him there. We didn't get him. If you don't believe me, go back and watch my stuff last year on mock drafts. I even talked about him. So let's go here. Mac Hollins, $2 million. A good bit player. I do want some more speed on the outside. We could probably get that in the draft, but that gets us to about $40 million. Rock Ya-Sin, he's an okay corner. I know we traded for him 1 year and done. I'm thinking about $2.5 million could get the job done. I would bring him on. We're so thin at corner as it is. He was probably our best corner last year. So that tells you a lot. I think he's a okay corner, not great. Probably the only decent outside corner we have. We have to address that in free agency as well. Of course, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about that soon as far as potential free agents and draft picks. So this is where I stand right now. So if you look, let's take a look. That puts us a little under 40 million. So again, we have to sign draft picks. Spot Track says our 7th overall pick, if we stay there, will be a little under 5 million on the cap, estimated based on how others have signed before. I would add probably about another 4-ish million for the rest of the draft picks, maybe a little more. So you're talking anywhere from 7 to 10 million. We're going to have to save up just to sign all of our draft picks. Of course, they're going to be on the 53-man roster. I'm thinking for the most part, maybe a 7th round pick. If not, then they screwed up as far as drafting, of course. So this also, I wanted to do the spending breakdown. Let's see. So right now it says we have 1 quarterback. Of course, that's Stidham. We're going to draft one. So right now, snapshot doesn't matter. We started off about a $50 million difference. It was almost a 2-to-1 ratio, the money spent on offense versus defense. This is more evened out. I think it's fair. I think we kept what we needed to. We still need to address in the draft, obviously. I think I would prefer to go defense in the first round. It's going to be very interesting to see. A lot of people, if you look at the mock drafts, I think they're being really lazy because they're just keeping Chicago there at number 1. That's not going to happen. Somebody's going to move up, maybe Indianapolis. I think that the dominoes are going to kind of fall because it's going to say, okay, Derek Carr is one of them, right? Which team is he going to go to? And more importantly, when is he going to go to them? It doesn't really matter for them, but it matters for us if we're going to get some compensation. Like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're just going to straight cut him. I know there's rumors he's going to go to Carolina. Nathaniel Hackett is in with the Jets now. Good luck with that. I talked about Nathaniel Hackett last year going to Denver, and they got Russell Wilson. I said no, they're going to finish last in this division. I got that one right. I thought the Raiders would finish second. I didn't think we would implode this McDaniels. I expected much more on the coaching staff, but I got Denver right. I think the defense has regressed a little bit. I'm not so keen on him at all. Maybe it was just Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay and Aaron Jones. And of course, Devontae Adams was there too. So he had a lot of weapons to go for, but the Jets are in desperate need of a quarterback. I think they've practically all but given up on Zach Wilson. Could Carr be there? Maybe. Could he go to Carolina? Maybe. And then there's talk about Sean Payton. A lot of things going on. So the mock drafts right now for the draft are about probably 90 to 95% useless at this point, to be honest with you. I would be absolutely shocked if Chicago Bears stay at that number 1 position and pick a defensive player like Kuiper and all these other guys have them. Like I said, it's laziness. Why don't you just say, okay, this team's going to move up. We'll have this scenario and put a little thought behind it. They don't. It's just boom, boom, boom. It's like, come on, guys. So anyway, this is where we are. A little bit more balanced. This gives us probably about $30 million to play with. Like I said, I want anywhere from $7 to $10 million to sign our draft picks. Again, there's also renegotiations we can do, deferring money. Maybe we could do something with Chandler Jones. If we give him more promised money in 24 or 25, defer it. There's a lot of little lawyery kind of things you can do, but right now as a snapshot, this contract is really hurting us. It's really hurting us bad, especially for the production he gives us. Let's see. Well, let's see. That's what I have as far as the salary cap goes. So let's see. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it in the chat. This is why I'm here. I can do this on my own. I did it on my own. That's what I would do. I would keep Stidham here. He's serviceable as a backup. I do not trust him as a 17-game starter, to be honest with you. A lot of people say, well, he needs more time. I want somebody younger. I want somebody with more talent, not a retread. If we go after Garoppolo, that's okay, as long as we draft a young quarterback for the future. I think the time is now, especially since we've moved on from Derek Carr. We are all but moved on from Derek Carr. But I want to know what you think. Put it in the chat. Also, we're going to be opening up our live chat. Let's do that right now. Let's get that going. Hang on, guys. We'll have it via Restream. We're going to have our live chat here. You can come on and talk to me. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. Come out here and sound off. What do you think we need to do? We can go back and look at the numbers if you like. Of course, everything's a little dynamic. It's going to move around a little bit. But generally speaking, that's kind of where we stand as far as the team goes. I think if we sign some of the decent bit players, I think the only significant signing would probably be Denzel Perryman. If he wants to stay here, he might not want to stay here, to be honest with you. It is what it is. I would like to have him. I don't think I would want to pay $12 million for him, but $8.5 I think is doable in my opinion. We could talk about, talk a little bit about potential free agents. Of course, defensive tackle is a position of need again. What else is new? Dalvin Tomlinson. I talked about this guy 2 years ago when he was with the Giants. The old system there with Patrick Graham. I think he had like 4 sacks this year. We could probably get him cheaper than the $10 million he signed for with Minnesota. That's an option. I'm going to go over that a little bit more in detail. We can talk a little bit now, but I want to do a little bit more research. Cornerback, James Bradbury's around. Of course, another Giant, another Patrick Graham guy. He'll be available as a free agent as well. Unless, of course, these guys get franchise tagged. We've talked about that before, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Put it in the chat. If you want to come on, whoop, wrong way. See, I have to point the wrong way. My camera is kind of backwards here, so whoop, point right there. You'll be on if you want to go on there. It's the pinned comment. Also, I want you to vote. I want you to vote. I want to see how the voting is. I want to see where we stand with that. What should we do at quarterback? Draft free agent starter and draft a backup is 60% right now. I like I said, I'm in the draft a starter and Stidham backup camp at this point. I think the sooner we get one of these guys in, there's basically 4 big ones, and then there's some minor quarterbacks. We'll dissect that in another show. I want to get a little bit more information. I want to see a little bit more film on these guys. I like the pure ability of Richardson. Right now, Levis worries me how he finished the season down the stretch. A lot of issues with his decision making, causing turnovers. A lot of interceptions down the road. Of course, Young and Stroud finished strong, especially in their bowl games. They're studs. They're probably they'll go before 7 for sure. Unless something crazy happens, one of them gets hurt, heaven forbid, or something like that. So if we want one of those guys, we're going to have to move up. So let's see what we got here. We got MB85. I see you in here. What you got? MB85 says it definitely said Tom Brady, but I can go for a rookie Stiddy combo. Stroud 1, Levis 1A. I don't think so. Right now I don't have Levis. I would put him at 4 right now, to be honest with you. I know young people knock him because he's little. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Richardson as number 2. I would put Stroud number 1. I know people knock the Ohio State quarterbacks. Justin Fields is, he's dynamic. He needs some more weapons. He's still making some bad decisions, but for every bad decision he makes, he turns, chicken, into chicken salad too, just by his ability to either run the ball or threaten to run and throw a pass and guys wide open. That's the respect he has for his athletic ability. So let's see. I think we should draft the highest rated defensive lineman. So Al's goes, sounds like he wants to stay put at 7 and get the best available defensive lineman. So, yeah, I want to look at some of the other ones. I don't know if we'll get the same value. We might want to go offensive line there at 7. Even that was that kid from, where is he from? Kentucky, Skoronsky or something. A lot of people are talking about him. I think Mel Kiper had us picking him at 7. He was a left tackle. I don't know. We don't really need a left tackle. Can he move to right? Maybe we'll move him inside to guard. We definitely need guard as well. If you looked at my spreadsheet, I also put Denzel Good down there. I don't know what happened with that. If he's retired for good. We'll only have to see about that. That would be an option too. I gave it about $3 million to secure him. I think that would do it. I wouldn't mind bringing him back as well. Let's see. All right. I've got 7 people in here and we've got 6 likes. We need to bump that up a little bit. So hit that like button. I know you might forgot. I forget too when I watch live streams and go do all that stuff. Hit the like button. If you aren't subscribed, why not subscribe to the channel? You get the content you get here. If you're liking this, you're still here. Why not subscribe so that way you will be notified? Hit that bell notification. You got to do all this funky stuff with YouTube. I get it. You got to subscribe and that little bell next to it, you got to move it to all. That way you'll be notified whenever I drop either a video or a live stream coming up. I usually drop these early morning before I do them. So let's see what we got. So let's see. Drum Pain. Let's see. Yeah, but I want to hear what else you guys say. If you want to come into chat, go right there. Pin comment. Let's see. It should still be there. Let me double check. Should be the pin comment. Yeah, it's still there. So hit that. If not, I'll put it back up there. I'll put it back up there right now. So no excuses. So if you hit that, you can come on if you want to come on. And that's where we are. So if you want to go back, we can go back and look back at this. If you want to take a look at this. So these are the players I had. Well, let's go right here. These are the players I had. So these are the ones currently under contract. These are the ones I would let go. Now, of course, some of these guys that are under contract, they're kind of fringe players anyway. League minimum. They could stay or go. I don't think it really is a significant difference to the cap. If we dump a guy that's making $750,000, we pick up a guy who's making $750,000. It doesn't really matter. I wanted to focus on some of the big names here. I do think Darren Waller is going to be traded at some point. I was kind of feeling that last year. It didn't happen. And of course, Derek Carr is going to be gone. Chase Garbers, I think we're going to stick with two. Would he be on the practice squad? Sure, unless somebody picks him up, puts him on their active squad. I think this regime, they're going to roll with two quarterbacks just like they did last year. So we don't need that million there on the cap. Let's see. Bilal Nichols, terrible. Andre James, too much money at $7 million he's supposed to be making. So those are the ones I would really cut. And then the people I'd pick up, I'd try to get Perryman again. I don't know if we'd be successful with that. Jackson Barton is a solid backup tackle, in my opinion. Good price. Stidham, get him as a backup quarterback. Again, these are estimated costs. Your mileage may vary. Illuminor has been decent enough to keep. Tillery, I'd like to see more of, especially at this price. If he wants $7 million, he can go somewhere else. Definitely not worth $7 million. Some people are saying I would not franchise tag Josh Jacobs. I think he will. If he is, then that's going to eat up about half of our cap. Because like I said, in my estimations, we're at $37 million right now. You can see here in the next net cap space. But again, we're going to need $7 to $10 million to sign all of our draft picks. So I would take about half away. What are we going to do? We're not going to be able to do much with it. And frankly, I don't know. I wouldn't want to franchise tag him because he just might get pissed off. That last interview, it kind of sounded like he wanted out anyway. So I would let him go. That's me. And you just need to draft and pick better players. Still wondering about Zimmer White. We moved up to get him in the 4th round. What are we doing with this guy? I don't know. So I want to get some defense in that 7th overall pick and move up maybe and get Richardson late 1st round for that 2nd round pick. And then Mac Hollins, of course, Rock is Sin. So that's where we stand, guys. So let's see. Let's go back. That's where we stand. So if you want to come in, let me get the chat going. So if you want to come in, I put it in there, pin comment. I just put it on there. Come in and talk about it. If you want to talk about anything else, you want to talk about Derek Carr. If you want to talk about potential landing spots for Derek Carr, they're talking about Houston. Why would he want to go to Houston? And I said on the last live stream, I said his brother David got sacked like 120 times. I was way off. I looked it up. He got sacked like 250 times just with Houston. I think like 270. I think he played a little bit with the Giants after that, but it was like 250 sacks in Houston. Are they any better? No, they're not any better. Let's be honest with you. They're not any better. Why would he want to go there, especially with the past with his brother and the team sucks? I'm still thinking maybe the Colts. I still think we're just going to have to cut him. If he's cool and he's stand up and he wants to help us out, I mean, frankly, that's what it would be. He would just be helping us out with a deal. I mean, or he could wait. I know a lot of people, well, he's going to make $35 million. Do you really think the new team's not going to renegotiate the contract? Number one. Number two, with the salary cap, if you looked, it was like 230. Last year it was at 200. It went up 30. It's estimated. It's not official, but Spot Track estimates it as a $30 million increase. So all the salaries are going to go up anyway. We heard about this when Derek signed the first new contract off his rookie contract. That, oh, it's so much, it's so expensive, oh my God. And then like 3 months later, he was out of the top 10 or something before the season started. It was like, oh, it's like, come on, guys. You can't look at it from that vantage point. I know with the COVID and all that, the salary cap kind of went down because the revenue went down, but everybody's back in the stadiums. They're making good money. Like I said, it went up, 15%? It's going to keep going up. So even at $35 million, that is not a bad deal for a starting quarterback. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Let's see. Ooh, reality check. I already like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. The Brandon Park experiment is a failure. Time to wish him well and show him the door. Oh, yeah. Watch some of my game reviews from 2021. That's how far back we are with this guy. We drafted him, I believe, in the third round. The same year we drafted Colton Miller with the old regime, drafting Colton Miller. I think they wanted McGlinchey, who went to San Francisco. San Fran jumped us and took him, and I think they went back and then just got Colton Miller in the middle of the first round. But we had Brandon Parker like in the third round. He's been absolute garbage. Very very little improvement if at all. Him and Leatherwood, they moved inside. That whole right side was awful during pass defense. Just got owned. Few games I was go back. Let's see. I know the Bears one. I had a nice rant. If you want to go back and watch my Bears game review from 2021, that was kind of amazing. So. Yeah, and McGlinchey is another guy who's going to be a free agent, supposedly, if he's not franchised. I don't think he will be. He's had a lot of injuries there in San Fran. They moved him. They got Trent Williams, he's a big stud on the left side. They went and paid money for that guy. They moved McGlinchey to the right side, and he's been playing there. Playing decent when he's not hurt. That's an option if we're not going to go after Keep Illuminor. But that would that'd be kind of plan B, C, D, at the right tackle position. Let's see what you got. I got 9 people in here. Only 6 likes. Come on, guys. Hit that like now. Hit it before you walk out. Hit it before you come in. Hit it while you come in. Hit it up, hit it down, all around. It doesn't really matter. Just hit that like button, of course. It helps. Everybody says it because it helps. And of course, if you are watching, especially, I get a lot of viewers watching these on replays. And I'm like, why aren't you subscribing? And they're watching like most of it. And it's like, why aren't you subscribing? You can be here. Maybe you can't watch every single one because you got timing issues. I get that. But why not subscribe? You can be notified. You'll be here. We also do live streams during halftime. We talk about things. We have game reviews. And of course, after we look at the salary cap potential free agents, you know what's going to happen. It's draft season. And you know what that means. If you're not new here, that means we're going to be doing mock drafts again. We do a lot of mock drafts live. We have a lot of fun with those. You can go back and look at the old live streams of the old mock drafts we had. I've got a few more things in store for the channel as well. I talked about altering some things to improve the channel. That's been kind of happening. I'm kind of taking a look at it. We've got a small sample size, but we'll see. So why not subscribe to the channel? Why not? Why not subscribe? Hit the bell notification. You'll be set to all. So, and of course, I don't like going on for hour after hour after hour after hour. I usually round this up at about an hour. We're at 6:46 right now, Raider time, Pacific time. Probably go on around. I usually go on around an hour with these things. The mock drafts will probably be longer, hour and a half to 2 hours, just because they take so long, and you're looking at things, and you're getting a lot of interaction from you guys and voting and all this stuff. So, but we have a lot of fun with those. We'll probably be doing those February, March. I'm thinking we're gonna wrap up the salary cap thing. So basically, I have a general number of where I would be. Now I want to look at the holes, the potential holes and potential free agents out there, and how much they're going to cost us. And then look at the draft selections. Can we get some of these guys in the draft? Of course, we're going to have to do that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's been very offensive heavy as far as the spending goes. If you looked at that, we were at a 2-1 margin for the salary cap currently. I know we're getting rid of Derek Carr, but who's to say we're not going to get Tom Brady and put that much back on, or even more? To me, that's another reason why don't get Tom Brady. You're going to get an old man who's a shell of himself, who can't move around, again, with an offensive line that's terrible, and probably and you guys wanting Josh Jacobs, that's not going to happen. We pay $45 million to Tom Brady. I mean, might as well go get Lamar Jackson. I'm not a fan of getting Lamar Jackson, but I'd rather have him than Tom Brady. He can actually still move around. He's been injured, but still, he can move around a lot better than Tom Brady. Again, and this offensive line, good luck. And if that happens, that's pretty much the nail in the coffin for the 23 season. I would be surprised. I would be shocked, because Tom Brady's not gonna last 17 games. He's not gonna get the time to throw with this offensive line. And you look at this division. I know Denver's regressed a little bit with their pass rushing. They've lost a couple of their studs, Miller and Chubb. But you've got the Chiefs, you've got the Chargers. Look out. It's going to be ugly, and it's going to be ugly quick. Let's see. It sucks to hear it, though. Oh, yeah. I don't wish Brandon Parker ill will or anything. Don't get me wrong, but he's been awful. He's been awful through the Gruden era. I thought that was going to be one of the things these guys come in and they're going to evaluate, and I'm thinking, shit, just look at the film in 2021. You got plenty to look at with Brandon Parker, and they still kept him on. They put him on the IR late. Why? What? Because he can be a swing guy. That's the only thing I could think of. He could play the left side. But we had Jackson Barton that was admirable. He was okay, much better than Brandon Parker, and he's like a backup scrub kind of guy, And why is this guy still here? I don't get it. I just don't get it. So if Brady were to come, mandatory we address the O-line. Well, yeah. If Brady comes, how do we spend money on the O-line? He's going to want probably about $40 million. So you take what Carr's getting, you add another $5 million. You're not going to keep Josh Jacobs at all. You're not even going to franchise him. And you're not going to be able to get any big names on the offensive line. It's going to be more patchwork bullshit. And he's going to get destroyed back there. It makes zero sense. And it makes no sense for Tom Brady. This team is not ready. Why would he come here? This team is not ready to win a championship next year. Look at it. I mean, this defense is not good enough. I mean, Patrick Graham was a huge disappointment. I mean, he made Gus Bradley look good. Let's be honest here. So, then where do we get the money for defense? Where do we get a defensive tackle? Where do we get the corners that we need? the draft and hope the rookies pan out. I mean, this is ridiculous. If we get Tom Brady, that's a death sentence for this season. Guaranteed. Because unless he wants to take a pay cut, why the hell would he at this point? Why would he? This team is not that close. I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. If we're going to go after a big name and be stupid and pay a lot of money, go after Lamar Jackson. At least he can run away from the defenders, or try to, until he gets hurt. Let's see. They desperately need a pass rushing defensive tackle and a real corner. No more undrafted free agents off. That's pretty much what they were doing. Let's be honest. That's what they were doing. I mean, Dalvin Tomlinson, I was wanting him 2 years ago. We didn't get him. Not to say he's a world beater, but he's better than we got at defensive tackle corner. There were a number of guys. Steven Nelson I talked about. Bryce Callahan, he picked us off this year. I know he's another small slot guy, but I mean, come on. I would take him over a Meek. Nate Hobbs, I would move to strong safety if at all possible. I don't want to keep him, but Meek Robertson, Bryce would take your job in a heartbeat. I think they were a little leery because he was coming off I believe a knee injury, but he came back and he was playing really well this year. Get Gronk's big ass to help block. I don't want Gronk. I don't want Brady. That ship sailed. Let's be honest. That ship sailed. There was talk of getting Brady back with Gruden era, and they were going to get rid of Carr and all this other stuff. Maybe back then. That ship sailed. That ship's gone. No pun intended. And a linebacker. What else? I mean, we get Brady. There's not going to be any money for all this nonsense. Your reason for no Brady is a tad pessimistic, I gotta say. Well, okay, so tell me where I'm wrong. Okay, he's going to cost $40 million, right or wrong? I don't think he's going to take a pay cut, right or wrong? He's old as dirt, right or wrong? He had a shitty season, comparatively speaking, right or wrong? He cannot move in the pocket, right or wrong? Our offensive line sucks, right or wrong? Where are we going to get the money to fix the offensive line and the defense? I think this is the year you go get a quarterback and you groom him and you keep Stidham, you re-sign him for $1 million or $2 million or whatever as a backup, and you have the rookie take his lumps this year, and you get some defensive players early in the draft and hope you draft well throughout, and then get some pieces here and there with the rest of your money. Let's see. All that can be addressed with what? With no money. With no money. Let's go back. Let's go back. $36 million for the guys I want to sign. Brady's going to want $40 million. I know we can negotiate. I would say about a $10 million give. You can tweak it. I know there's a lot of play with cap. Unless they want to defer a ton of money and then us getting killed later on in the future, 2-3 years down the road. But again, we're not that close to winning. So why would we do that? This isn't a Saints situation, a Rams situation. Why would we do that? It makes no sense. I mean, we're a 10-7 team. Now we're 6-11. We signed 2 big name free agents last year, and the team did worse. So I'm just not seeing it, guys. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. We have money, champion. I just showed you the salary cap, so roughly $36 million. I mean, of free cap space. That's after we cut Carr, which I think is going to happen. So you take Carr's money at 35 and you add another 5 to it. So it's going to strap us. Plus we got to save about $7 to $10 million to sign those draft picks all together, depending on where we draft. And if we move up, it's going to be more. Raiders will be a better squad than Tampa next year. Well, that's debatable. I like Tampa's defense way more. We can acquire more too. Okay, well. That was Carr's BFF. I even said Burrow Chase chemistry. Boy, was I wrong. Well, the problem is Carr did nothing but target Devontae in a lot of instances. If you look in the season, when he just had goggles just for Devontae Adams, right? People sniffed that out. They doubled him. A lot more errant passes, interceptions. When he was spreading the ball around, that's when the offense moved. And then Josh Jacobs running the ball, it was like, look out, how they're going to stop this. But there's times where he would go back to it. He would go back to just keying in on Devontae Adams. I didn't get that at all. And obviously we missed Hunter Renfrow immensely during the season when he was hurt. I keep reading they will cut Andre James to move Parham to center. That's exactly what I said they should do. And I 100% agree with that, even for salary cap consideration. Let me pop that back on if you came in a little early or came in a little late. So here we are. Let me hit this. So our biggest gains, of course, Derek Carr, $30 million net gain. We take a $5.5 million hit even by cutting him. But with $35 million, and we're not going to keep him, that makes sense. Andre James, according to Spot Track, they changed it. It was 5.4, I think he was supposed to make. I don't know if some incentives or some bullshit kicked in. Now they have him at $7 million. Andre James is not worth $7 million, guys. If he wants to renegotiate, move that down, restructure, whatever, cool. But as is, no way. We get $5 million off the cap for that. And we can move Parham where he probably should be at center, because I think he's undersized for guard, to be honest with you. And his vision, he needs some work. He needs some work with that vision. Let's be honest here. So let's see. Well, yep, that's what I think. What do you think? That's exactly what I think. I'm 100% on that. I went to game one. I saw the overthrows in person. I could see the helium balls and the nosebleeds. I think he was just, I don't know. I think we're going to hear more about this. I talked about this in the last live stream with David Carr, and things are going to come out. So I'm waiting for that. I mean, I'm not a big soap opera type person, but I want to know what happened. I want to hear Derek's side of the story. So basically, whatever's going to happen, I think he's going to get cut by February 15th because we would owe him fully on the 35 right here and another 5 the year after. So it's $40 million in guarantees we'd have to give him if we don't trade him. Now, if we get a trading partner and they, in principle, they agree, because the season doesn't start till March, and they agree to a renegotiation, it's possible. I don't know why Derek would want to do that. If he wants to do that, that's cool, but I just don't see it. But whenever it happens, whenever he's officially off the team, I think it's going to be before February 15th. But if it's by March, when the season opens and we trade him, they're going to have a podcast, and it's going to be very interesting. Of course, I'll probably do a live stream on it, of course. Why not? And we're going to hear his side of the story. Does that mean he's 100% legit? Not necessarily, but I'd like to hear what he had to say, because I don't know. I mean, I think it took him a little while to get used to John Gruden, and then things started clicking. I'm not the biggest John Gruden fan as far as his X's and O's and all that. I think the game left him about 20 years ago. He was a great kind of motivator, drill sergeant, cheerleader kind of guy. Absolutely. And I loved him for that. Raider Nation loved him, Chucky and all that, but he would get out coached all the time. And here we got a guy, McDaniels, who's like a 180 supposedly, a guy who doesn't talk a whole lot, not a big personality, but he's an X's and O's guy. He's getting owned out there. He was getting out coached most of these games. Like I said, the only game I give him credit for really is the 49er game. We lost it, but honestly, we had no business being in that game with Jarrett Stidham and a team like the Niners, who are a step away from going to the Super Bowl here, guys. And we were in that game right near till the end. So one game I give Josh McDaniels credit for. Let's see. Officer Rollout, how you doing? I see you. They nixed the Brady Miami deal with ownership. What can Las Vegas match? A gentleman's club. Maybe you can go to Springfield. I don't know. I don't want Tom Brady. I don't want Tom Brady. I'm surprised maybe Miami is going after Derek Carr. Let's be honest. I think that would probably be the best spot for him. Maybe there or Indianapolis. Let's be honest here. As far as what a team is, it's got all those weapons. Down there playing in Florida, doesn't have to worry about cold weather. Except when he goes to the away games, the NFC or the AFC East. You have to get used to it. But Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I mean, come on. As long as he has a couple seconds to throw the ball, I mean, why wouldn't you want to go there? You got the Colts with Jonathan Taylor, but the coaching says Jeff Saturday going to still be there. I don't think so. I mean, that's another thing. Even he and the offensive coordinator outcoached McDaniels. Friggin' Raiders lost that game. The offensive coordinator never called plays ever in his whole life. Jeff Saturday has never coached at the pro level. I guess he coached high school or some bullshit. They outcoached McDaniels. What in the ever-loving hell? It's a joke. Absolute joke. Victory. Hand going out to eat. Appreciate your patience with my debates. Hey, no problem. You don't have to agree with me. That's the whole thing. I mean, if you got good arguments, I want to hear it. I might not agree with you. You might change my mind. So thanks for coming in, M85. I appreciate it. Hit the like on the way out and go get yourself something to eat. We are at an hour. I will take a few more. Take a few more comments if you want to come on in. I'll do that. We'll close out the polling. Let's see. Let's get that. Get your votes in. Get your votes into the live poll right now. We're going to end it in about 10 seconds. And take a few more comments and we'll close this one out, guys. Appreciate you guys coming in. Yeah, like I said, I'm 85. You might not still be here. You might be. I want to debate. If you've got good points, I want to hear them. I absolutely want to hear them. You know, I'm not saying I'm infallible. Let's see. In that poll, let's see where we stood. What should we do at quarterback in 2022? Most of you say get a free agent starter and then draft a backup. So maybe you guys are thinking Brady, Garoppolo, Lamar. I'm in the draft. I'm in the second one. Draft a starter, put Stidham as backup. I'm in that camp. So let's see. Anybody have anything else you want to talk about? Again, if you missed the salary cap, I did this right here behind me. Whoop. And I will be putting out hang on. I got something else here. I will be putting out a shortened video like I normally do, just with the subject on the salary cap. You can go over that again. You have to watch the whole hour. If you want to watch the whole hour and watch me rant and rave, debate things with you guys, that's great too. Let's see. Reality. Last question here. Will they franchise Jacobs or will they sign him to a multi-year deal? I think neither. And I explain this right here. You never know what this regime's going to do, but he's going to have to get, I don't think he's going to want to sign a deal here. I don't think he's too happy here. I think he wants to test the free agent market. The only way we're going to stop him, of course, is to franchise tag him. And that means we have to pay him. He's 1 year guaranteed to stay here, but we have to pay him the average of the top 5 salaries at running back, which is about $16.5 million. That's why I put it there. That's way too much. He had a great year. Let's be honest. He had a great year. Offensive player of the year candidate for sure. Of course, wasn't going to win it because the Raiders sucked, but won the rushing title. But before that, his stats were regressing year in and year out. Go take a look at it. He was off injured. He played his ass off for a contract, and now he's going to go get paid. And I wish him luck. And I'm wondering if him and Carr are going to be in the same place. It could happen. I don't know. We'll see. That would be very interesting. Let's see. Maybe in Miami. Who knows? There's nothing really to write home about down there as far as the running game, in my opinion. So they're always trying to grab a bunch of retreads from the Niners and stuff down there in Miami. So maybe they would go get Josh Jacobs and Derek Carr. Look out. Look out. And with the way the Patriots are playing now, shit. And Buffalo got embarrassed. I mean, Miami's close. And that coach McDaniel without the S is, you had the S for shit. But McDaniel, pretty good coach. Not a bad coach. I'd say he's above average coach. I'm not going to say he's the best coach in the league. I'd probably give that to Andy Reid, just for what he's done and how he had his run, and then they got killed in that Super Bowl. They came back, kind of rebuilt parts of the team, and again, they're in the AFC Championship again. So I would gotta give credit where credit's due. The Kool-Aid man, well done. So, and also well done to each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys coming in here. Thank you for coming in here, putting up with my nonsense and my loudness and my charts and my graphs and my arguments. Thank you for coming. And as always, you know what I'm going to say, guys, right? Go Raiders.
Ask you something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, David.